Good evening, it's Pastor Bob here at Sunrise Community Church. How you guys doing today? It is a beautiful day here. We've enjoyed the weather. The last couple of days actually have been very, very nice. If you were with us Sunday, you know we were in chapter 3. This week we'll start in chapter 4 of the book of Jonah. We're talking about Jonah. It's an amazing thing to me. Jonah's this little small book. If I talk to people about Jonah, most everybody would know the story of Jonah in the belly of the fish. But a lot of people think the story ends right there. And then maybe fewer people, but still some people know that Jonah did actually get out of the belly of the fish and then go to Nineveh and successfully preach to those people in Nineveh. And those people, most people then think that's the end of the book of Jonah. Jonah is no doubt has the most surprising and final chapter of any chapter in the Bible, of any of the books in the Bible, because it brings out some real truths. That's where the real truths of the whole book are coming out. And it starts off with Jonah says, because God has forgiven these people, he is burning with anger. He can't believe what God has just done. As a matter of fact, he says, this is exactly what I was afraid of when I was in my homeland, that you would in fact do something like this. So I don't know if you realize, but think about this. If you're this great musician, right, and you just played in Carnegie Hall, and at the end of the performance, you got a standing ovation. That wouldn't make you angry, I don't believe. I think you'd be happy. That would not make you angry. And if you were a great artist and you had this great painting or whatever kind of art you had, and it just got accepted to be put in this great museum, I think that you would be excited about that. You certainly wouldn't be angry. And here is Jonah. He has just preached to the most difficult congregation that he's ever going to preach to, that any preacher will ever preach to in his life. And he has a positive response down to the last boy or girl, down to the last child. So much so that God says, I'm going to suspend, I'm not going to do the destruction that I said I was going to do, but instead I'm going to give it a reprieve, and I'm not going to destroy that city. That is in fact God giving Jonah a standing ovation for what he's just done in Nineveh. And Jonah's response is that he burns with anger. He can't stand it. So the question is, what is Jonah's problem and how does it relate to us today? Those are the kind of questions we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about things that have to do with what is the bedrock of your heart? What's the bedrock of my heart? What is the actual non-negotiable thing in my heart? You know, a lot of people say, you know, Lord, if you'll do this for me, then I will serve you. If you'll do X for me, I will obey you and I will serve you. The minute you say that, the non-negotiable is not God, but it's whatever X is. It's whatever that thing is that you say, if God, if you'll do this for me, if you'll heal my marriage, if you'll heal my husband, if you'll heal my wife, if you'll heal my child, whatever that is the non-negotiable. And that is what has become God in our lives. And how does that play out in our lives and in our society today? How did it play out in Jonah's time? How did it play out? Jonah comes to a point where there's no doubt about it. It looked like the security of the nation of Israel, the Israelites, and the will of God were diverging from one another. And Jonah has to decide which way he's going to go. And it seems clear he's already made up his mind. He is willing to push God away if that's what it takes. That's why he says, I have no hope. I don't want to live anymore. Just kill me. Let me die. He is saying that something else besides God is the meaning of his life. I think we do that today. I think the real study here is how we can take the good things of our life. They are very good, but we can turn them into idols, and we can have an inordinate love for some of these things. We sort of deify some of these things. As a matter of fact, I believe that Jonah has deified, made a god out of his love for his nation, his national pride. Rightful national pride, patriotism, that's correct. But if it goes too far, it becomes imperialism. Those are the issues that Jonah's dealing with, and I believe you're going to find out we deal with them in our lives too. So be with us this Sunday, and we'll start with the first 4 verses in the 4th chapter of the book of Jonah. God bless you. Have a good night. Don't forget, send in your prayer request, Facebook comment section. We'll see you Sunday.